Good morning, welcome to 59 Minutes. My name is Levi Kones, here to talk about the political happenings of the week, and to join me in that conversation, as always, is Pan-African Forum Chairman, Dr. David MATSANGA. Daktari, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Africa. Good morning. Wherever you are, thank you very much for watching CAS TV all over the world, wherever you are.
Yep.
Thank you very much for hosting me this morning.
It's the political happenings of the week, but you know, this week there's a lot more than politics going on. The Olympics have started. Are you watching the Olympics, Daktari?
An Olympic,
Yeah.
with hardships,
With hardships, eh?
is not an Olympic that you can be excited about.
Of course,
What is sports? Sports is when people go under sea. The founders of Olympics, the Greek arena, were very clear. They were spectators, and then they were competitors. But an Olympic without spectators is like food without vegetables. You eat it dry. Thank you.
Yeah, I hear you. Like food without vegetables. But here, politics is going on as usual, and it's getting very, very heated. Let me start by asking you something. This week, there was a discussion that came to the forefront. It was in the newspapers on Saturday, talking about the African People's Court on human rights, human and people's rights. And they were suggesting that, you know, African countries within their constitutions can postpone elections because of, you know, COVID-related complications. And that brought a hue and cry, and people came out and said, no, 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 no. According to our constitution, elections on the second Tuesday in August, after every, on the 5th year, and African heads of states can use this as a potential to extend their terms, even when they're not supposed to. What were your thoughts about that ruling and what it means for the peoples of Africa?
This question could be asked by somebody who has never interviewed me. But you who has interviewed
the people want to know.
Show.
I have interviewed you. The people want to know.
Wait, you who has interviewed me every morning, every Monday on this situation.
Yeah.
I've told you it is impossible to hold a Kenyan election.
These guys are saying based on COVID. You know, you have been saying based on the issues of unity, we're not prepared, constitutionalism. You haven't been taking the COVID angle.
You asked me a question. You want to answer then?
No, I don't want to. Now I'm asking you this question specifically on the
Why don't you leave me to answer?
All right, go ahead, sir.
I have been telling you on this show every day, every Monday, that it is impossible under the circumstances to hold a Kenyan election. In fact, I've called upon Chebukati to be removed. Didn't I? And then you told me, oh, we need Chebukati to be here. You are chickening out. I told you, Chebukati should not hold any count, any ballot in Kenya, any presidential ballot. That's point number one. Point number two, the reforms that everybody, every scholar in Africa, in the world talks about how to manage an election, electoral system, management, mechanisms. We don't have it. You don't have it. You are in a state of quagmire as far as elections are concerned. 3, it is now very good for people who have gone to school like you to do what we call comparative politics. Look at places that have held elections across Africa with the pandemic. All of them are in tears. Can I start by naming them? for you and your listeners and your viewers.
Yeah, tell us.
Mali was the first country to hold elections. No sooner had the elections got finished, or no sooner had the elections finished, than the military came from the barracks one afternoon, overthrew the president. He died somewhere or is hiding somewhere. Today, last week, you saw somebody with a big dagger wanting to stab the president of Mali
yeah.
in a mosque.
Yes.
Country number 2, Ivory Coast. It went ahead, held elections. Luckily enough, it does not have the Boko Haram, the ISIS have taken some parts in another part of Ivory Coast. The government, do you know how many prime ministers have died? 2. Including one who is there, who is now sick in hospital somewhere. You know that. Country number 3, Central African Republic. It held elections under COVID-19. Do you know what is happening in Central African Republic? The UN and other forces, African forces, including forces from Rwanda, Uganda, and others, only hold the capital. The rest is held by rebels. So anytime they will take over. That's another 3rd election. The 4th election is Chad. It held an election under COVID-19. Somebody came with guns all the way from Libya, killed Idris. Is Idris there?
You know he's not.
Sir, is he there?
No.
He's dead. Let's come down near the border. COVID-19 under the pandemic in Burundi, who held election and told people that we go ahead with our elections because of the constitution talks. Where is Nkurunziza? Across east of Burundi, Tanzania. Show me your neighbor and I show you what he wears. Where is Magufuli? Elections under COVID-19. That's gone. My own country, Uganda, held an election in February. By February this year, Uganda had only about 49 patients. Are you listening to me, my brother? About 49 patients of COVID, because President Museveni had managed it, and I give him a credit where it's due. I don't like him about some other things, but I give a credit. On the question of management of COVID-19, at the beginning, President Museveni did very well. The module that he put there was working. People adhered to the module. Then he spoiled it. In November, October, December, January, he spoiled it. Campaigns. People lowered their guard. 2 months passed, 3 months passed. You now see where Uganda is? Where is it? The hospital, the oxygen is missing. Everything is missing. This is just near Kenya. Kenya has managed the COVID-19 process very well so far. Therefore, it is now very clear that the countries that have held elections during the COVID pandemic either the results are contested, refused, rejected, or people don't come up to participate. What is an election? An election is pitting ambition. Democrats is pitting ambition by selling your manifesto.
Oh.
How are you going to sell your manifesto in Kenya when 3/4 of the electorate don't even know how to spell your name, Kones?
But has that always been, you see, Dr. but hasn't that always been the case in terms of illiteracy?
Okay.
We've always had
But the
illiteracy.
but the people go there and approach them. You are not seeing the difference.
People would say, but that's why we have civic education. That's why we have.
I don't know what. How will you do civic education with a mask? How? I don't know what has gone wrong of Gillette these days. You also reason like somebody from town.
No, I have to ask a question because, Dr. You know, it's a Q&A session here. We have to ask questions. One of the things people say is, no, COVID is going to be there for a while. We have been told we are going to live with it. It's not going away tomorrow. That means even our elections, we have to find a way to do them.
You can do them, but of what?
Or else, how do we continue?
Boss, what credibility are they? If in Kenya, when there is no pandemic, people go to ICC, what about this one with pandemic?
How long can we hold off for? Because what if we get another pandemic?
It's 1 year. The Constitution allows you can extend. 2.
There are those who feel, Daktari, many people came out to, like most of the leaders, you know, and all of them, Mudavadi, Kalonzo, William Ruto, everybody angling to be president, except for Raila Odinga, came out saying, these are all presidential contenders. All of them came out saying, no, you guys, honestly speaking, maybe this is a tactic to hold on to power.
Who is Mudavadi?
I think that's an unfortunate question, Dr. You know who he is.
Who is Mudavadi?
He's the leader of Amani National Congress.
Which Amani?
Amani National Congress. And a presidential contender.
Anyway, it's okay. Your leader. Oh, me. I don't know.
He's the leader he's a presidential candidate. And presidential candidates are wondering, asking themselves, okay, so what does this mean for...
How many votes does he get?
Well, even if it's one person who believes in him. You see, the thing is, yeah, Daktari.
And Mudavadi marshal 100,000 people in Uhuru Park.
I don't know about that. I think that's up to him and his people.
No.
But
you have been here. You are telling me presidential what? Who is Mudavadi? Mudavadi cannot marshal. Mudavadi cannot even marshal 100,000 people in the Uhuru Park without Raila. So talk about Raila, or you are talking about NASA. In fact, to protect his name, say NASA.
Yeah, I'm talking about
there are some people,
political leaders in this country, Daktari. Political leaders in this country.
You say
in their own rights, with their own following, political leaders in this country are asking that question. Just saying, hey.
Yes.
I think it's not fair for us to just rubbish them completely. But they are political leaders. They're leaders. So if a leader asks a question.
I have not rubbished anybody. I have said NASA leaders headed by Raila. Because it is only Raila that I know can marshal 2 million people. I can, even if you gave Musalia Mudavadi $1 million to bring 50,000 people in Uhuru Park, you will get only 10.
But the question is valid. Does this mean that the presidency is looking for a way to stay in power?
No. The conditions are the ones that, when you are doing political science, look ahead and see what might come out of these elections. Already, the state in Kenya has been captured executive has been captured by the judiciary. The judiciary has put us on cliffhanger politics. Cliffhanger politics, which I teach. At times, my students know that.
And I'm coming to the question of the judiciary actually next. Because yes, this week, we saw 2 judges arrested, and that's another issue right there.
You are disrupting my line of thought.
Yes, but continue.
I was bringing cliffhanger politics. Kenya is, at the moment, hurtling to a cliffhanger politics. Where you don't, if you are not careful, you could fall over the cliff. Therefore, President Uhuru Kenyatta has said he cannot hand over a country fractured by divisions, fractured by intrigue, fractured by hatred, fractured by men who want power, greed for power, fractured by corruption, fractured and captured by the judiciary. A regime change in Africa is sweeping across Africa. Where judiciaries in Africa want to cause mayhem, and then the people rise up against the executive. You have seen it in South Africa. You have seen it in Zimbabwe. The judges were paid to try to overthrow their own chief justice. In South Africa, a judge who even had impregnated Zuma's wife sentenced Zuma to 15 years. Is that type of judicial, the judiciary capturing the executive powers in Africa. In Kenya, where you are seated this morning, you know very well some judges are beyond Angel Gabriel. When you touch them, even when they are corrupt, they run to the public that we are being touched. When you touch them, some of them have committed even rape cases. They have tried to rape their fellow judges. Some things are shaming. Some people are saying Uhuru should mention some of these things. Boss, if you listen to some of the stories, they are very, very discouraging. A human being going to rape another judge in office. Mm-hmm. Did Maraga tell you that there is a sex pests within the judiciary? Were you not one of those interviewing Maraga?
He didn't mention who.
What did he? He didn't, yes, but he said there were sexual abuses where judges themselves were abusing workers and within the judiciary. He said those cases are there. But when you mention them, they run to the public. There are people who have links with cases that are abroad, like in the American case of Akash. He's serving almost 3 years of his term. But some of them are still in your judiciary. You want them to progress even to higher heights. You have forgotten how many people were killed, were shot,
yeah, but
were
shouldn't that being the case, shouldn't they be proven guilty in a court of law? Where does due process come in, Dr.DAVID? Because, you know, some people are saying, you know, we are just lynching people here and condemning them in the court of public opinion, which is not the law.
Who has run to the public opinion?
Because you see, the court of public opinion, if I say Dr. MATSANGA is a rapist, and then we repeat it, tomorrow we arrest you, we release you, we have already tarnished your name. And maybe we don't even press charges. So now, for the next 5 years, you're in and out of court. We do not know whether the charges ever stick or not. But we have succeeded in tarnishing you in the court of public opinion. It seems that's what happens in Kenya a lot, because we do these arrests. Like now, 2 judges are arrested. Then they're released. We won't hear that story for some time until we have another 2 judges who are arrested and then they are released. What's wrong with us? Because we never get to the end of the story.
Apart from Rwanda.
I mean, this week we had an MP get arrested regarding Gachagua. And
yes,
and you had called for his arrest, by the way, even on this show. But He got arrested, but where is that going?
You see, now you are pointing fingers at me. I am a journalist.
I'm not pointing fingers. I'm saying one of the things you had said was...
No. Apart from Rwanda, where else have you traveled?
Where else have we?
Have you ever traveled?
I've never traveled.
So, I want to tell you.
I want to tell you. I might be persona non grata in Rwanda. But we know why. So I don't want to go into that one. What I thought... We are talking about the Kenyan cases, Daktari here.
My dear brother, the law in the world, we get our laws from Britain.
Yeah.
Whether you were a judge in the Old Bailey, which is the British court of Milimani, whether you are in the toilet doing susu, and there is suspicion, the Scotland Yard will enter your office. Are you hearing me? Take you, charge you. Msiambie watu hapa wrong things, that in the court, nobody should enter the court. No. When it's 2 a.m., whether you have lost your father, your wife, your child, whether you are who in Britain, once there are suspicion, allegations, once the police suspects that there is something that you have committed, boss, even if it is 2 a.m., British police will smash your door, take you out. Even if there's a court session where you are chairing, it will stop. So who are you in Africa on the 58 years old? You, Kenya, that you are telling people, hey, don't arrest a judge in a court.
We're not saying don't arrest. I think most Kenyans are tired. Wananchi are tired with this, with what is called, the politics of entertainment. Because
politics of entertainment is also politics of... The only man who entertains people here is a Zaire man from DRC Congo called Yande. That's the politics of entertainment. You see Matsanga entertaining you.
No, it's the politics of entertainment and also the politics of social media. Because here's what happens. We do an arrest, it's trending, there's a lot of story about it. Somebody comes out or pays a bond, and then we are back again.
What is the role of the police? Under Article 244 of the Kenyan Constitution, Section B, you can see I went to school for this purpose to educate.
Yeah, theirs is to enforce the law.
Yes, enforce law, fight corruption. You don't need powers from anywhere. Nowhere. Rubbish. If you have not read the law, then go and read the law. You don't need the powers. The police does not need the powers. The police brings you on suspicion, allegedly. Then the DPP will decide.
Is the one who brings the burden of proof. Yes.
But the police, once they smell something that you are about to stab Matsanga, like now, you could be using a rocket launcher to finish me where I am. Police will come to arrest you. No, wait. The police will come to arrest you first. The DPP will come later to look at the evidence. And let me take this opportunity to advise, because I am a straightforward man.
Yeah.
Both the DPP and the DCI are my younger people. When they were growing up, I was already up. They call me uncle. Yes. I was already in Tanzania fighting Idi Amin and cutting his legs off. Please, give respect. The police in the whole world arrest you on suspicion. The DPP screens the evidence. Let me talk like a that Museveni across there. Evidence. Eh? Oh, Kagame, the one you want to hear. They speak the same.
You
see? So screen the evidence, sift the evidence, bring that evidence. If there is nothing, the case is dropped by the DPP. The DCI, the role of the DCI is to arrest you. Whether you are on the toilet, whether you are anywhere, at the funeral, in the car, in the ship, on
we
the
get the
plane.
point. But you know, Dr. one of the things that also happens this week, we get the point there. One of the things that happened this week was the arrest of Madira MP Rigathi Gachagua. And you know, there was a huge hue and cry, especially from MPs allied to what they would call the KLA faction, saying, you know, that this is really what is called a witch hunt, in terms of just, you know, looking for people that are close to the deputy president to, you know, put the squeeze on them and use the law selectively. Like there are so many people facing cases or, you know, clearing their names on different corruption scandals. And while they are okay with being investigated for corruption, they're not okay with being investigated for corruption alone, without others being taken, you know, in the same direction. So what do you have to say about that? Are we being selective with what we're doing? Are we using politics along the way somewhere? Like, okay, fine, we want to ask you questions about how you acquired your wealth, but we are asking you primarily because you are not pro the presidency.
No. When did Kachagwa become the friend of Ruto?
When did he become the what?
Friend of Ruto. Do you know?
The friend of?
Ruto.
I don't know. I would not know how they became friends.
Your neighbor in Tarbo, let's say so, because you are all neighbors.
We are neighbors,
yes.
But you know, even in the neighborhood.
Yeah. I know why I'm asking you. When? You don't know. Kachagwa became a friend of Ruto. When? Because you have to follow history. Where was Kachagwa working?
He used to work for the president. Was working.
Yes. Do you ever, even you who has been given, who have grown from nothing, do you go on insulting your mother?
No, of course not.
A mom who has suffered, like if I hear you insult my sister, you will see me.
Of course not. However
big you are like that, I will come for
you. You don't have to. That will not happen. That's only good manners.
I will come for you. Kachagwa is not me to prove whether he stole or not. The evidence will prove him wrong or right. I'm not the police officer. But let Kachagwa learn one thing. That long mouth of his, stop it. You are not the only one who can criticize the president.
He can hide under freedom of speech.
No, it's all right. But
I'm saying, you know, you're allowed to say whatever you want to say.
No, I am allowed to say. I am allowed to say. Today I found I was coming out of the airport today, and I found one of these Boko MPs from Kapsaret. I told him my mind. I said, next time you go to Kampala and you keep on talking about my name, utaona. Staki. Wambiana, nilimwambia please. I respect you, respect me. I went to ICC to remove Ruto. Ruto did not go to ICC to remove me. Yes, I was a foreigner by then. You call me a foreigner. You continue to call me a foreigner. But a foreigner who sold his cars to get a tax, a ticket to go and defend people on Rule 68. That Rule 68 would have passed. Where would Ruto be? So don't stop it. And they agreed. I said, please, we are friends. You were there with me in the hall. You saw how I jumped on Gladwell Hotel. The police in Netherlands arrested me. When they arresting me, was I removing my father? Huh? Wachana nyenye. So Kajagwa is insulting the first family. He got all this wealth from the first family. He turned his mouth to the first family. Humanity and the law of DIC is different. ECI is different. But also Ubuntu. If somebody has helped you before, take respect. Give him respect. I don't want to stop Gachagua from talking. He might have his political opinion.
Yeah, which he does, definitely.
Yes, talk like others. On the question of the money, the DCI have their evidence. We wait tomorrow or the other day when they will parade him and table the evidence. Then the DCI will submit the files to the DPP.
Okay. Some people saw mischief in the date, saying that, arresting him on a Friday is to punish him over the weekend, to make sure that he's, punished by being inside.
Boss.
You remember Kamata Fridays?
I'm telling you, in London, even if you are going to have a lady you have been admiring for 2,000 years, and that was the only day you are going to have her at a dinner, invitation or a date downtown, the police don't leave you. So I don't know why you Kenyans want a special day for arrest. It's very strange.
Not a special day. We just don't want somebody to be, what's it called? To be conveniently caught on a Friday.
Yes. No, not conveniently.
Conveniently caught on a Friday, Daktari. Or before a holiday, a long holiday like Easter.
And there are days that you say you should not steal. You have been stealing 12 billion shillings. Conveniently.
Allegedly, Daktari. Yeah?
12 billion.
Allegedly.
My dear brother, 12 billion. Conveniently. Huh? You have been sponsoring the party. Then you run to the deputy president to hide there, saying, we are thieves together. They are chasing me. You also cover me up. I want to ask you one question.
Yes.
A thief comes to your society where you live, steals your property. Then after 2 weeks or 2 months or 1 year, he comes back and donates bits and pieces to you. What do you tell him?
That depends. First of all, we need to prove that he stole the things he's donating.
You have known he has stolen. He was as poor as a church mouse that watches the priests counting Ruto's money in the church. You remember that? You know there's a mouse watching when Ruto donates this huge money in the church. There are mouse, rats, embeba, panya, they are watching. They don't take even 1 penny. Then all of a sudden you have 6 helicopters. Then you come back and say, I want to be the head of the clan. I want to rule you in the society. Then you dish million shilling here, 500,000. You do this. I take 1 wheelbarrow. What do you think? What is the first word? Okay, I want to summarize. I want to ask you, between retributive justice and restorative justice, my brother, let me ask you, Which word did you begin telling this face?
Which word, what, sir?
Which word did you tell him between the two?
Retributive or restorative? Restorative,
Yes.
definitely, because you know that brings peace and it's a kind of justice Jesus preached.
You are a very good man today, this morning. This morning,
Why is that?
this morning, did you drink some wine this morning?
No, I didn't drink any
Church
wine. I don't take wine, sir.
No, church wine is different.
No, not even
Church
church.
wine can make you answer questions like that.
You know, you're making me answer questions on a show when I should be making you answer questions.
No, I was asking because I'm trying to drive my point home. The point home.
Yes, you're trying to drive the point home, yes.
The ECI can arrest you on any suspicion. The DPP can clear you if there is no evidence for the case to go further. Full stop.
Okay, full stop. I want to switch gears because we don't have much time. We got like 10 or so minutes. Here's one of the things that is happening this week is the issue of who will stand against the deputy president in the next elections. Now we have Oka Kenya, who are basically One Kenya Alliance, who are a conglomeration of, you know, Senator for Baringo, as well as the Senator for Bungoma, as well as, you know, Kalonzo Musyoka and Amani National Congress leader, who you have said you do not know, called Musalia Mudavadi. Now, and then there's Raila Odinga, who is, you know, in ODM and sort of charting his own path there. We don't know. And of course, the deputy president, who is, for all intents and purposes, currently what you would say as the front runner in the race, the man to beat amongst the, you know, the contenders.
When
And
you say
there
front
is a
runner,
discussion.
okay.
There's a
When you
discussion
say
here
front-
amongst pundits
When you say front runner with who? Or he's running around?
No, for front is the one who has declared, seems to be running at the moment. There's some guys who have
He's running with a ghost, a mirage. He's alone.
well, as it is, you would say, well, if you're running alone, you're front running. So now, this gentleman, yesterday Kalonzo said that, you know, that his number one priority
The problem is this. The problem is that you went to school and learned Ogundipe.
Yes.
I did not
I want
do
to ask you now, as a political strategy, Kalonzo said his number one priority is to defeat William Ruto. Of course, people will question that, you know, as a priority, because even you would imagine there would be another priority like, you know, development or something, but okay, that's his number one priority. There are those who believe that if these other guys do not join forces, then the deputy president is home and dry early in the morning. What do you think about that?
With which vote?
Sorry?
This one of Mount. Which vote? Mount.
If they don't join, there are those who believe if these guys don't come together. You remember what happened with President Moi in 1997 when he stood and there was Mwai Kibaki and there was Wamalwa Kijana and there was Raila Odinga, you know, and there was Charity Ngilu, and all of them were tearing apart at the votes, and Moi came in, you know, with a vote that did not have a combined vote for the rest of them, but still beat them as an individual. Yet the opposition had more votes than he had.
My brother.
Yes.
There are only two people seriously.
There are only two?
There are only two people that you should think about. Raila Odinga and William Ruto.
Yeah, but the question is, on Raila Odinga's side, if he does not join forces with his erstwhile former NASA or soon-to-be former NASA, you know, bandwagon, can he go it alone?
We don't want to tell you what some of us who love Kenya are doing behind the scenes. Therefore, we leave it there because you might be spying on behalf of your boss, Niataru. So let's leave that one.
I can't believe you said that. Look, and that's not my boss. I'm a journalist who just works here. I've never even met the guy. I don't know why you keep attacking me about that. You know.
Sungoi. So we want to tell you strategy, but leave. But I have told you, by the end of the day, Raila Odinga will be facing, or Ruto will be facing Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga has done something very credible that he has never done since I knew him in 1982.
What has he done?
He shook hands with his opponent.
But he did with Kibaki too.
No, he did not shake hands. He just said, Tosha. Did you see a televised
No.
shake hands?
After the post-election violence of 2007, when Kofi Annan was here.
Play it here. Play it here. If you saw the type of hand of Kofi Annan, is it the type of hand between Uhuru and Raila? They are different. There was a mediator there. Please, you are talking to a man who can teach you conflict resolution.
Tell me, yes.
My eyes. There was a mediator in 2007. Mediators came.
So are you saying that was a forced partnership?
It was forced. Didn't you see how it ended up in tears with Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto going to the Hague?
I can't believe you said that, in premium tears.
Yes, it was forced. The one of 2018 is from their hearts, because they have reached a pinnacle, the highest point of humanity. Ubuntu. Let's not go beyond the ye. This is our country. We don't need to ban it. Forget about what Ruto talks about. That peace is shallow. The peace that he uses Stockholm syndrome, to threaten people in the Rift Valley, that if you don't vote me, you will see. Haven't you seen that? That is different. This one is genuine. This town was burning. Our cars were going down. Our trucks could not pass. Raila Odinga did one great thing. With Uhuru Kenyatta, they shook hands. Give them a credit. You can say whatever you want to say. We are here talking because they shook hands. So those who are against them have a problem of their own. One of them is they fear if they don't win, they will end up in a committee. Raila has not said he will imprison people, but he look for thieves. Mwizi ako mwizi. Hakuna mwizi mara mbili, yuko moja. Kama uko mwizi, uko mwizi. If you have taken money and bought helicopters, cars, mansions, aeroplanes, factories abroad, you still remain a challenge to Kenya. Kenya is not poor, but corruption has made Kenya poor. Am I wrong?
You're right. You're right.
If the money stolen through corruption was given to the people of Kenya, this country would be a fast-growing economy. Kenyatta will leave and go. Kenya will remain. But Kenya has to remain in a stable state. This bravado of yellow colors occupying Africa, East Africa, because Museveni has a yellow across. You also want to create one here. We are watching you.
I hear you, sir.
Also parties across. Ugandans have, do you know Ugandans have now started knowing that your deputy president is creating a link. And for Mark, do you know what? Look at my left eye. Are you watching it?
Yeah.
We Uganda have a different way of doing things.
We've spoken once, I've heard you twice. We need to end the show. I hear you. I've got in the, yes, the colloquial remark.
Stop it. We now know.
I hear
We
you.
now know. We now know.
I think the people get
And
what you're trying
therefore,
to say.
very soon, you will see very soon. Because people are not happy. You are extending. People have suffered. People want a democracy. You don't copy people and come and tell show your boss that you are nothing. I'm now better off working with somewhere else. People are seeing. The
People are
entire
seeing.
opposition, the entire younger opposition on social media in Uganda is going to be turned on someone you will not like it. You might
I
never
think we leave
step
it there, Daktari. That's a good point to
I
end
just
on.
want
You've
to
given
tell
us.
you, I want to tell you that always keep the legacy of infrastructure. Today I drove all the way from the airport, or they drove me because I passed the stage of driving. Must be driven, isn't it? You still drive
Yeah.
around town.
From Jomo Kenyatta, yeah.
Yes, all the way. You could see that Kenya, these roads will be needed tomorrow for a tractor, a trailer, my trailer to pass very fast to reach Mombasa. These roads will be needed. Don't say do we eat roads, but can you eat cabbage when it is rotting in the village? Can you eat rotten cabbage? Can you eat eggs when they are not having transportation from town? How many people eat eggs in Tarbo every morning for breakfast?
I don't know.
You don't know because you don't even live there.
I don't know.
So thank you very much.
They save the good eggs for transportation outside.
Yes, so don't blame. Be happy that you have a president called Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
We'll leave it on that note. The people have
He's a
had
very good man.
Thank you, Dr. David Matsanga, Pan-African Forum chairman. They're always spitting it as he thinks it without no filters, telling us like it is. That's the political happenings of the week. Join us next week for another review of what's happening politically. And do you have yourselves a lovely day. Stay tuned for Leah coming up with Losu. Enjoy your day. Good morning. Kuja ubatishe hii sauti hapa.